Hello, you guys, and welcome back. My name is Tasha, and if you are new here, I am a gestational surrogate, and that basically means that I am going to, as of soon, going to carry a baby that is not mine. If you are curious, you want to know more about that, you can go back and watch some of my previous vlog videos where I explain, what surrogacy is, all that good stuff. It's been a minute since I've given you guys an update. Today I went in for my first monitoring appointment, and let's just say it was quite an experience. I mean, okay, I went in for a lab. They were gonna draw my blood and see what my estrogen level was. That was it. And it turned into this huge ordeal. I gave myself an hour to get to the clinic, okay? It's only like 20 miles away, I think, but it's rush hour because I had to be there at 7:45, right? Like, accounting for traffic, I was like, okay, you have an hour should be enough. So I leave a little bit late. It was probably 10 minutes after I wanted to leave. So I had 50 minutes to get there. And when I pulled it up on my phone, it said that I could make it in 45 minutes. I was like, great, I'll have 5 extra minutes, should be fine. I thought that meant including the traffic. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I have no idea how it works. But I hit traffic earlier than I expected. So I was like, oh, great. And I'm watching, simultaneously, I've got like my phone up with the map and I'm watching and the numbers are ticking up. The arrival time is going up when I'm gonna get there. And eventually it was like 5 minutes after I was supposed to be there. I'm like, great. Okay. So then, the cars start moving again. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll make it on time. I look over, I'm like, great. It gives me, 8 minutes until my appointment is my arrival time. Like, okay, it should be fine. Then I hit more traffic. Oh my word. I did not think it was gonna be this bad. Okay, so I've been to the clinic about 3 times. Once was in 2016. So with my last surrogacy, I went to the clinic to do an ultrasound, I think, for my last surrogacy that I did. It's like in downtown Portland, and I avoid downtown Portland as much as possible because there are so many one-way streets. There's so many people. There's constantly construction. It's just a nightmare. So I avoid it at all costs. So because I don't go down there very often, I don't really know where it's at. I rely on the GPS on my phone pretty heavily. Because I don't really know where it is and I'm relying on my GPS, I didn't want to call the clinic and be like, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late, because I was using the GPS and trying to navigate and drive and call them was just not something I wanted to do. So I decided not to. So I'm driving along and the GPS tells me stay in the left lanes because the freeway was gonna split, right? It says stay in the left lanes towards I-5 South. I'm gonna put up a picture for you so you can see what I'm talking about. The directions say stay in the left lane for I-5 South, correct? I-5 South were the right lanes and the left lanes were towards Beaverton. If any of you are from around here, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, refer to the picture, okay? So I was like, I don't know what to do. Should I follow the sign? Should I follow my GPS? Is it left? Is it right? I don't know. And so I'm not gonna say against my better judgment because I was following what the sign said, not my phone. I figured the direction was more important than right or left, and it was the wrong way. So later today, I went back in, I pulled up the directions for it, and if you scroll all the way down, there's a thing that says report issue, I think. And so I clicked on that and sent them the picture. I took a screenshot and I sent them the picture and said, look, it's supposed to be left, but it's not supposed to be I-5, which was on the right-hand side. It should say towards Beaverton, whatever it said, 405-26, something. So anyway, I reported it because I was so mad this morning. I'm was so mad. At this point, I'm like freaking out. I mean, obviously freaking out, but I was pretty upset because I hate being late. And I was like 10 minutes late. I was all turned around in the city that I don't drive in, so I was like frustrated. And there's so many things that you have to do. Sometimes the GPS doesn't tell you right away. And so you're like, okay, what do I do next? What do I do next? And you're one of those cars that's like going really slow that everyone's like zooming by that knows where they're going. And they're like, that chick's clearly lost. Anyway, finally get to the clinic, right? I pull in because they have their own designated parking lot. There's like 15 spots in this parking lot. It is so teeny tiny. But if you think about it, it's a fertility clinic. How many spots do they really need at once? There were no spots when I got there at 8. No spots. So I had to park on the street. And in downtown Portland, you have to pay to park on the street. So I had to find a little kiosk thing to pay for my parking spot, which luckily I only paid for 20 minutes to park there because let's face it, how long does it take to draw labs? Not that long. I paid for 20 minutes. It was like $1.20. It was not even that much, but still annoying because I wanted to just pull in the parking lot, put on my mask, go inside. Because it's healthcare, you gotta wear a mask. So I get there, walk up to the front desk, and I tell the lady, I'm like, hi, I'm 10 minutes late to my lab appointment. And she's like, okay, what's your name? Like, oh my word. So she, directs me to the second floor. I'm like, great. Kind of weird because last time I was on the 3rd floor and there was clearly a room marked phlebotomy. So I was like, that's super weird. Why am I being sent to the 2nd floor? You guys. The woman who attempted to draw my lab didn't do it. She stuck me twice and couldn't get it. I'm pretty sure she went through my vein. So if you know anything about phlebotomy, basically when they use a certain type of needle, there's a tube that's about this long that's connected to it. And then it has, I don't remember what it's called, a hub maybe, that's like a cylinder type thing that you like screw on, and then the vial clips in. If you do it correctly, the blood, sorry, TMI, whatever, the blood will go about this far into the tubing, right? Not the actual vial, the like plastic thing that the blood goes into, but there's tubing that runs from one to the other. So there should be a flash of blood, like this much, that goes into the tube if you hit the vein correctly. It did, and then when she put the tube on, the vial, nothing came out because she went through the vein, like all the way through it. So she's like digging around in my arm, like pulls it out, pushes it in a different direction, pulls it out, pushes it back in and out, in and out, in and out, like rotating, trying to hit the vein. Anytime I get my blood drawn, they ask me, oh, are you okay? Like getting your blood drawn? I'm like, yeah, totally fine. Like I don't faint, I don't throw up, I don't pass out, like nothing. She's digging in my arm and I'm starting to get lightheaded because it hurt so bad. She finally pulls it out and blood starts trickling down my arm. I gotta do my shot. My mom's not home to do it for me, so I gotta do it myself. Dang it. Don't like doing them myself. And the last couple ones have hurt. Let me finish the story. So she tries again somewhere else. So she tries on this arm, can't get it. She comes over, does it on this arm, can't get it. She's like, I am so sorry, but I'm gonna have to send you up to the 3rd floor and have one of them do it. Okay. Clearly, someone else will have better luck because you suck. The first vein that she tried is my best one. I never have problems getting my blood drawn. It's a one and done. Never. It's the biggest vein ever. Like, it's huge. Not to toot my own horn, but jeez, it's humongous. How do you miss? So anyway, I go up to the 3rd floor. I wait there for about 10 minutes. They call me back. Oh, we're so sorry. I just saw the note that said that you were coming up here. I'm like, it's totally fine. So I sit down. The second lady tries. She's poking around, trying to find a good vein. She's I told her, I'm like, this is the best one. She's like, yeah, it's kind of hard, so it's like bruised. I'm like, yeah, because she freaking went through the whole thing. So she tries a little bit higher than where the last girl did it. Nothing came out. She's like, yeah, I think that's already, you know, coagulated right there and nothing's coming out. She's like, I'm gonna have somebody else try. I'm like, oh my word. And this is after she dug around in my arm too. They're fishing for something. I don't know what it is, but they were fishing hard. So I get up, move down another chair, and this lovely older lady comes over and I'm like, she looks like she's been doing this a while and knows what she's doing. Please, please be able to get this, because I don't know how many other phlebotomists there are to rotate through. So she sits me down. She has me pumping one of those like stress ball things because it helps get the blood flowing. And she actually did it on my left arm where you can't even see the vein, which I know they're there. You can feel them. They like bounce back when you like push on them. They kind of like bump back up. So she got it. Thank goodness. She had to fish around also, like all three of them. Oh my word, so much fishing around. It hurt so bad, but I was just sitting there. I'm like, Jesus, please. I don't want to pass out. But if she keeps fishing around for this vein, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Now I know the stress from getting lost in the traffic and being late and just all the things scared my veins away. I'm convinced. I think it gave, like, my blood pressure was so high that my veins were like, and got really, really tiny. So, shot. So we got our Luprin. I keep it in the box so that it doesn't roll around. This is a little vial. It's very liquidy. Syringe. Alcohol wipes. Clean this off first. So when you're drawing up, you suck in air to where you're going to be drawing out the liquid so it doesn't create a vacuum in the vial. Okay, and then you stick it in like this, push in the air, pull out the medicine, like so. Medicine back in the box. Now, my poor tummy is so polka dotted. I don't know if you can see. Short story, I'm standing here and my son's in the bath and he goes, Mom, I love you. I'm like, I love you too. And he goes, keep that in the video. Okay. Oh goodness. Okay. Luprin injection. If I can get up the courage to do it. I've been standing here for about 5 minutes already. Funny story, last time I had to do it myself, this is how long it took too. You would think it would get easier, but it doesn't. Stabbing myself does not sound fun. Okay, just get it over with. The key to these, I'm just gonna keep stalling. The key to doing shots is you do it as fast as possible. It hurts so much less the quicker you do it, okay? That being said, can I do it to myself? No, here we are. Clearly not. God, just do it. Just do it. I keep saying all right and then I don't do it. One time my son was like, can I do it for you? I'm like, no, you're 12. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why, because I barely felt it, but it seriously took me like 15 minutes. Seriously, the worst part about that is me freaking myself out before I do it. Like, it really barely hurts. Like, I barely feel it. I mean, the last couple, no, I can't say that. There was one time when I took it and literally it gave me a hive for some reason. I don't know why, but it was gone within like 10 minutes. So my body was like, whoa, you know? So because I had to go all the way downtown was because the clinic that I'm using, they want results the same day. She messaged me, my coordinator there at the clinic messaged me. She said, we received your lab results from the estradiol level. It's nice and low at 22.46. I don't know what the reference range is for that. It's basically measuring estrogen. She says, this means your ovaries are suppressed, which is what we want. so we can move forward with the treatment calendar as planned. So the calendar that I have tells me, you know, how much medication, which medication on what day, basically. So she said, as a reminder, on Friday, you will be lowering your dose of Luprin to 5 units. I'm taking 10 units right now. So on Friday, I'll go down to 5. You will also begin the estrogen medication. That's the one that goes in my glute. It's an IM injection. The needles are like, I kid you not, the needles are like this long because it has to go into the muscle. So it has to get through the layers of fat. I'm not saying that I'm this fat, but most people have fat, okay? They want it to get into the muscle. Whether you have this much fat or this much fat, they want to make sure that it's in, like, deep in the muscle. So medication, 0.2 mils. It's funny, when I started medications, the clinic told me nothing about how to do them. Not a thing. There were no instructions whatsoever. Luckily, I already know how to do this, so I didn't need instructions, but I can't imagine all the surrogates out there or the moms that are doing IVF and their clinic doesn't tell them what they're doing. Like, that's kind of terrifying. So she says, make sure to reference the teaching videos should you need a refresher on the medication. So, like, I'm a week into taking the Luprin, and oh, by the way, if you need help, like, this is how you do it. Oh man. So she says the quantity will gradually increase over the first 3 doses, so pay attention to the calendar, which I always check to see how much to take. You will also start your antibiotics on Friday. We will plan to be in touch with next steps following your lab work and ultrasound results on the 31st. So I go back in on the 31st. They're gonna check my uterine lining, which is hopefully nice and fluffy. We want fluffy. So basically, after you have your cycle, the uterine lining starts thickening. There's like a, not 100% sure what it actually is, but it grows something. It kind of reminds me of mold, to be honest, when I'm talking about it, like starts to grow mold. No, just kidding. So it starts growing something, and that something helps the baby essentially stick to your uterus so it doesn't just fly out. No, it doesn't just fall out. So it helps it implant into the uterine lining, basically. The estrogen will help with that. And hopefully my lining will be where it needs to be. Last time I had a lining check, it was about 11 millimeters, which was really good. So we'll see what happens this time. Let me know if you have any questions. Great. So I messaged her back and I was like, yes, the lab appointment kind of sucked. I explained what happened. She messaged me back. She says, oh goodness, well, I'm glad you got out of there almost unscathed. Pretty much. Otherwise, keep checking your calendar and we will plan to connect with you on Halloween. So yeah, my ultrasound and another blood draw will be on Halloween. And I just hope that they can get it on the first try that time. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know why my veins were so bad. So I'm hoping I'm gonna give myself even more time, extra time. I will be leaving my house even earlier, and hopefully I am not so stressed when I get there. And if I am, I'm gonna do some things to de-stress myself and to help the blood flow in my arms, because I cannot do a repeat of today. It was insane. Let me just show you this. This arm is my left. Can you even see where the last lady stuck me? No, you cannot. But it's right here. Now, not so pretty. You ready for this? Bam! So, I have one here, and then 2 over here. It is bruised from here to here. I don't know if you can see that. It's like the weirdest angle. Bruise from here to here. And it is so sore, like when I move my arm. It was not fun. I messaged my intended parents. They felt so bad. I was like, don't feel bad. It's okay. So I sent them like a screenshot of the message that I got that had the results in it. And my intended mom, she goes, if the antibiotic makes you feel sick, they have a second one you can try. So don't suffer in silence. We'd be happy to get you the other one if it means you feeling more comfortable or better in the long run. So please keep that in mind. She is so sweet, you guys. Like, I'm over here like, no, it's okay. I don't want you to spend extra money. And she's like, no, let us know and we'll get you the other one. The antibiotic, let me just check. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So this is my calendar that I did. I made it because it looks way better than the one the clinic has. Friday, I have a Luprin injection, adult estrogen injection, and then I take 500 milligrams of azithromycin, which is basically a Z-Pack, I believe. And I've taken it before, and as long as I take it with food, I'm fine. But I know some people have like really bad like stomach aches from it. I'm hoping not, because I would really like to minimize the amount of nausea I have. Plenty of time for that during morning sickness, okay? We do not need an extra batch of that. So I take the azithromycin for about 5 days, and then I have estrogen injections twice a week, which is interesting because last time it was every other day, I think. Their med protocol must have changed. Every clinic has a different med protocol based on what works for them. And then I start progesterone on the 5th, which is 7 days before the transfer. That helps keep the pregnancy, basically. So anyway, that's what I've been up to. It's been quite a day. I was gonna vlog it, but I forgot my tripod and didn't really feel comfortable holding my phone whilst driving. No, thank you. So there's no footage from that, but I will be going back in for another monitoring appointment in a week and a half. If you enjoyed this video and enjoyed listening to me ramble about my terrible morning. Oh, and I went to work after that. I'm like sitting there, I'm like doing paperwork. I'm like, ow. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't hurt that much. It's just annoying. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. I would love to get your questions. One of the reasons I'm doing this vlog is to educate people about surrogacy, so they have an idea what it is, what it's like. I'm in a couple of Facebook groups, and I swear at least once a week someone's like, I'm thinking about being a surrogate, what can you tell me about it? And I would love to be like, go watch my videos. It explains so much. You will get all the information from one place, but then again, in those groups you're not allowed to self-promote, so I'll have to think of some way to sneakily do that where it's not like, hey, watch my YouTube videos. It's more like, hey, so there's some videos on YouTube, wink wink. If you like these videos, I'm gonna say it again, make sure you subscribe because I would love for you to follow along with me. If you have questions, let me know. There is no such thing as a stupid question, okay? Nope, that's not true. There are stupid questions, okay? My son asks them all the time. And stupid questions are questions that you ask more than once because you weren't listening the first time someone told you. He does this to me all the time. Mom, can I do this? No. 5 minutes later, Mom, can I do this? No. I already said no. Stop asking stupid questions. I already told you the answer. Don't worry, I'm not gonna like mom you if you ask me a question. No, I would love to answer your questions. I am not shy about this whatsoever. If you want TMI, I will happily give you TMI. I'd love to know what people like are wondering about surrogacy. My mom was a surrogate, so I really didn't have a lot of questions when I started because I had already watched her do it. So I already kind of knew everything. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.